What type of function is this?
That's a negative function.
No.
That way. That's a bad one.
It's a sad face. All right. Don't worry, I don't want you. Now, what kind of, guys, what kind of function, stop the talking please. What kind of function is this?
Oh, that's the
What kind of function is this?
Quadratic.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah.
Quadratic functions.
Good job.
Now, just listen. It's called quadratic functions. How do we know it's quadratic? By one look. What makes it a quadratic function?
three terms and
No.
y.
No.
The negative.
No. The exponent is 2.
Are all the exponents going to be?
Yes. When you see the exponent is 2, you're looking at a quadratic function. When there's no exponent of 2, what's the difference with this one? Y equals 2x plus 4. Is this quadratic? No. When you graph this here, what should you expect to get? What would the graph look like?
A straight line.
Thank you. A straight line. These are called what kind of functions? Linear functions. You always get a straight line. These are called quadratic because you have exponent of 2.
A curve.
All right, you have exponent of 2. And now, what are the graphs of quadratic functions look like? Like a U. You can have upside down, happy face, or sad. Great. Now, what's the most important point on the curve?
The sign, -6. Why is that?
It's called
The
the
vertex.
vertex. The vertex. Good. That's the most important point you need to find in the
What's the
curve.
vertex?
I'll show you now. Okay, wait. Now, one final question before we do this. What are the graphs of quadratic functions called?
Parameter.
No, it starts with P though.
Parabola.
Parabola. All right, good.
Is that a dinosaur?
All right, thank you. You don't have to remember it. What you need to remember is how to graph it. That's what you need to remember. All right. Now, vertex. Does anybody remember the formula?
Yes.
The vertex of the x-coordinate of the vertex is given by this fixed formula, and I showed you. If you don't remember this, because I know 3 weeks from now, when we, at least by next week when we're moving on from this, you can't remember that, right? So on the EOC, it's on your reference sheet, kind of disguised. If you look on your reference sheet, you will see you're going to look for the quadratic formula box, right, on your reference sheet. And do you see this part of the formula somewhere in here?
No. Yes.
Do you see negative b over 2a somewhere here?
Yes.
Yeah, where? It's right here. It's right in the front. So if you can remember to just use this first part, right? Okay, it's on your reference sheet, then you're good to go. All right? So, stop the talking. Now.
So, Mr. Williams,
Yes.
what is the other part?
The other part here is when you're trying to solve quadratic functions. When they ask you to solve something, you'd have like maybe 2 here, 4 there, or 5 there, and you can't factor it, then you plug it into here. Remember I gave you somewhere you couldn't factor it, so you have to plug it in here and solve. All right? Now, I know we did a lot, so we'll start reviewing next week and bring some things up here. All right, good. Now, let's plug it into here. Plug it in. What's your O? By the way, what's your B?
4.
-4.
All right, this is your A.
Wait, so what is your B?
This is your C. So your A equals what? -2. Your B is -4. Sorry. Wow, great. I just recorded that. Thank you. And your C is, good luck listening to that.
I'm gonna make my mama watch
Wow.
that one.
That's disgusting. Okay, now, so negative B, when you put this negative in front of this negative here, right, it becomes what?
Positive.
Positive 4. So don't waste time putting negative, negative, just becomes positive. And then 2 times what? Negative 2 gives you what?
-4.
So you're going to have 4 divided by -4 gives you -1. All right,
That's your S.
that's your x coordinate of the vertex. Yes.
How come every question the X always ends up being like 1 or negative?
It's just the generator. It's a,
It's just
generator.
white.
Don't worry. All right. Don't. You could actually get a fraction here. You could actually get 1/2.
Yes, I did get
Right?
a fraction.
And
so
if you
many
get
of them.
0.5, you can still get a
Well, I
fraction
don't care
for
about
it.
that. So I just stopped.
No. So if you get 0.5, you get a half. Just put 0.5 and plug in 0.5 here for your x. Yes, Leah. Go ahead. Now, how do you find the y? You plug it back into here. So you're going to plug in your x's back into here for the original function. All right? So, I suggest that you write it out like this. Write it out like this and, replace the x's with parentheses. And then plug in this -1 wherever you see the x. All right? And, all right, good. You know what? You need to waste it because some of you, when you do it just in your calculator, you mess up. All right? So, now, where's the mistake you could make right here? Right here, yes.
By multiplying this.
Thank you, Savannah. By multiplying, a lot of people still do this. -2 times -1, you get +2 and then you square it. What's bad about that?
Supposed to do
Why?
that.
What's the rule? Why you can't do that?
Send that.
Same that. Yeah, you do exponents first, then you multiply. So-
So, -1 times
Right goes back
-1.
and forth.
So -1 squared is what? 1 times -2 is what?
Negative.
-2. Multiply these two. Negative times a negative is a
Positive.
positive. And then do that.
Y
So-
equals -4.
This will give you 2 minus 6. Y equals -4. Good? So the vertex is the point. The vertex is the point -1, comma, -4. That's the
So
vertex.
-2
Good?
times
Where do you see
Do you
negative
want
2
us to
times?
graph this?
This is 1. -1
vertex
squared
is
is 1
-1
times -2 is -2.
Do put on a graph.
Yes, put it in your graph now. Where do you find that?
So it would be -1, -4.
-1, -4 is where the vertex is. Good?
Yeah.
That's the most important point on the parabola. Now,
The y-intercept is -6, so you graph.
oh, do we have a happy face or a sad face?
Sad face.
Fine. So we know this is going to bend down. This is going to bend downward, right? Oh, by the way, what's the next important point on the parabola?
Y.
And what's the y-intercept all the time?
It's
The
always
C.
gonna be the C.
Wait, I'm confused.
You're-
How do you graph it?
This is
Start
what
over.
I'm trying. No, I just graphed the vertex. That's all I did. -1, -4 is right here. You agree? Now I want another point on the parabola, and this is where you get it from. Your C. Your C. Put it. Sit down.
I'm seeing for a name on it.
Sit down. Sit down.
That's it right there. I'm seeing for a name on it. I couldn't see if I have a name on it.
Sit down. Okay. Now, your Y.
I can't
All right, what's
see.
that? What's that?
Wait, you say you was gonna send on the cap?
Okay, so now you have to find the y-intercept, which is very easy. Your C is always your y-intercept. Why? To find the y-intercept, you always get what equal to 0? X. So if you put zeros here, these will go away. So therefore, your y-intercept is always going to be your C. If you put zeros here, these go away. All right? So your y-intercept is going to be, meaning the graph is going to cross the y-axis at -6. Right here. So here's one part of the graph. The right-hand side of the graph, we'll be looking at this. All right?
Are you cursed it?
All right, you know, you get the picture.
Are you
All
supposed
right.
to curve it like that?
The black line.
You're supposed to curve it. It's supposed to look like a curve, not a straight line. It's not a V. You're not drawing a V. It should have some
Is it
curvature.
supposed to be another line on the other side?
Yes, and I'm going to show you how to get that now. All right? Now, what do we know? Stop kissing your teeth. What do we know?
You gotta do the reflection trick.
Thank you.
No.
All right.
No, he did.
Parabola has symmetry, right? So if you bend it, right, it should meet. The line of symmetry always goes to the vertex. your line of symmetry will always go through the vertex. Alright? Now sometimes they put this line of, sometimes they show it, and sometimes they don't. Alright? If they show it, you see a line going through the vertex, vertical line, and then to get the other half of the graph, right, since it has symmetry, if this is one block away from this line, then the other point has to be what? One block away from that line. It has to be one block, alright? And then you just continue.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfect because we're doing it freehand. Now, if you want to see perfect, let me show you what it looks like. Perfect. You don't want to see it perfect. I didn't ask you. Alright? So, if you want to see perfect.
I'm watching this. She's watching.
Alright. Alright, so as we stated previously, the B for these types of problems, since there's no x there, B will always be equal to 0. And when you plug it into that formula, x equals negative b over 2a. Since b is 0, anything divided by 0, well, the vertex, the x will always be 0. So the x will be 0, and then if you plug in 0 here, your y will always be your c. That number, all right?
Okay.
So what does that tell you? These types of problems, the vertex is always going to be on the what? On the y-axis. These are always going to be on the y-axis. And is this going to be sad or happy face?
Sad.
I think you should leave.
Sad because A, don't worry about them. A should be what? A is negative. So this is going to be a sad face graph going down. And now we just have to figure out a point to the left or right. So this time I'm going to pick 1 to the right of 0. And if you plug in 1, so this is the most work you're doing here. If you plug in 1 into here, and
We
do
don't
the
know how to
math,
count.
you're going to have negative 2. So if you plug in this 1 into here and do the math, what do we get? Negative 2? No. Negative 7. Look. Plug in 1 here.
Alright, I'm done with this crap.
You plug in that and you get y equals what? Negative 7. So, see it? You getting it? So, when you go 1, negative 7, this will be the right side of the parabola. I did when you were listening. Alright? So, this is the right side of the parabola. And then all we have to do now is just reflect. If I went 1 across here, and I go 1 across to the left of 0, I should get the same what? The same y value without plugging it in. So it will be here.
I got this good.
So this is not as good as the last one. So we can't, no self-centered. Alright? Good? Alright, you guys got it? Yeah, we're going to end class right now.